702.
The Big Interview
With Bongani Bingwa.
17 minutes after 7 o'clock, when the president announced a response to the explosive allegations that were made by the KZN Police Chief, Lieutenant General Madlanga Commission, he said there would be a commission of inquiry. It would be urgent, it would be comprehensive, and it would get to the bottom of the allegations about the troubling reports we're hearing when it comes to law enforcement. The president said we cannot let these allegations go unanswered. We need to restore the public's confidence in law enforcement. In a sense, you could argue he staked his reputation as a leader on that process and its outcome. Yesterday, we were told it's been delayed. The Justice Minister is with us now to explain why. As always, a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for your time.
Good morning, Bongani and your listeners. Thank you very much for hosting us.
This delay, surely, Minister, even with the most sympathetic of supporters, it surely puts egg all over the face of this administration.
Look, Bongani, yes, it's something that is undesirable. Shouldn't have happened that we delayed the first, but we're hoping that we can still cover up. All that was required, I can confirm that has been confirmed yesterday and communicated to the Commission. By last week, Friday, we had agreed that we'll ensure that we turn around the situation into ensuring that Tuesday happens, we can report, and we have. But not only have we only managed to intervene and turn the situation around, there's been consequence management.
I understand all of that, but Minister, what was your role in the execution of this? Because from my reading of it, this wasn't the ordinary business of your department. This was, shall we call it, a special project. The president addressed the nation. He says these are urgent and pressing matters. We will give it our fullest attention. As the minister in charge of this, what was your role?
My role from the beginning was, firstly, we met with the commissions, both of the commission. We identify what needs to be done, introduce the team that was going to support the commission in terms of making sure that what is required by the commission is reported but is procured. Met with them regularly, almost every week, twice, sometimes a week. I was given a report that everything is on track, and the difficulty here, Bongani, is procurement. So when you are to procure, because the delay is caused by ICT procurement, when you are to procure, you only know that, okay, the commission has made this following needs, the team has got those needs, they've got a project plan in place, they will be able to deliver by this date, and you monitor based on that progress. So when the delay was started in one of the meetings where I picked up that there's something not going right, I asked what has happened. Then we intervened, called the Minister of Communications to request intervention in terms of, because the law requires that we procure ICT services through SETA. We got the deviation through that process in terms of trying to fast track the process. We were able to do that. We asked the person, because he had already told us that the DGICT had committed to the commission that the procurement will start on the 11th. It didn't start. On the 15th, we asked for progress report. I'm explaining that,
okay.
On the 15th, then we asked for progress report, because you can't go and do procurement as the minister. When you are told it's going to be done on the 11th, you can only come back and pick up where the problem is. So we came back, we picked up that it has not been done. That's when he raised the issue of the deviation. And we asked, but you should have known that these are the things that you needed in place and communicate up front. But you didn't even need deviation if you did in front. But we had to do the deviation because we were catching up. And that was done. The procurement process started. It delayed in terms of sitting of the spec committee. Minister nor the commission can sit on the spec committee. Only officials of the department can sit on the spec committee. We had to insist that they sit. It was a Wednesday. I told them by Thursday afternoon, I need a report that says all the committees have said they've processed what was needed to be done. That was the Thursday that we were given the report that all those were sitting and they had to go. Then the report from the CFO comes back and says, I've got all that I need to do from an SEM procurement process point of view. This is what the law says to me as the CFO. I can only do it within these particular days. I went back to the commission to say, this is what the CFO is saying. What is the impact? Can you look at the impact of this? And then we work around how we are going to be able to meet the deadline of the 1st of you starting the hearing. It was on Friday when they came back to me to say, Minister, in light of this, we will not be able to start. The lead investigators are explaining that they need a secure platform to be able, which is procured through ICT, which will need to be ready and up and running by Wednesday. When we asked the CFO, that's when he was telling us, no, Minister, the fastest I can do is Tuesday. So Minister, there has been oversight from my side, Bongani, in terms of being able to check, request the reports, and that's why I can hold the official accountable, because this is information that was not disclosed upfront so that we can mitigate.
Minister, if you'll allow me, again, it points to a broader picture, maybe not all of it on your shoulders, to be fair to you, but it points to a broader picture of incompetence and failure within the system. I mean, the issues with CETA and the ICT competence it lacks are well known. I would imagine, because of the urgency the president spoke about, because of the timelines he mentioned, that would have been one of the first questions as to whether we've got enough capacity within the state to be able to deliver on this. I mean, to me, that feels like one of the first questions that ought to have been asked. And I must put to you what the Business Day says, that delegation without oversight is abdication.
No. Delegation with oversight, there's no time where you can say there's not been an oversight. But there's not, you know, when they say you must have your hands on but not hands in. Because once as a minister, you get involved in procurement, you go and get your hands in. That's what PFMA does not allow.
No.
PFMA has prescription, Bongani, has prescription on what can be done in terms of process. You can never, as a minister, go and sit in a big adjudication committee and say, then I'm doing oversight.
Let me interrupt you, because I'm going to ask to interrupt you, because that's not what I'm saying. I understand you can't get into the minutiae of the details in terms of sitting in meetings, deciding who gets appointed to do what. I fully get that. What I'm saying to you is, even from my chair as a complete outsider, the issues around CETA and its capacity are well known. One of the first questions that should have been asked.
You are not listening to me. This procurement was not done through CETA.
There was a deviation because CETA couldn't do it.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. That should have been established from the beginning. You should surely have known they wouldn't.
Bongani, you are not listening.
Okay, let me listen.
And it will assist if you can also, because there's processes.
Yeah.
You see, one of the problem we get into trouble as well is violation of the rules. Because after this commission, when the AG comes and says minister and her team has violated PFMA, and therefore they have an audit issue, you are going to ask me again, why did you do it? So the issue here is that there's process that you must do. The team, I expected them to do the process. They did the process, and that's why we are holding the person accountable. The time frames that he needed to work around were not normal time frames. He should have understood that they must be shortened. So when you sit and look as an oversight person, and I speak this because I've been a Minister of Communication, I've been a chair of ICT, I understand the challenges of ICT. And that's why we prefer that they shouldn't go to CETA, but go outside to the market and get a procurement. And that's why it's not the issue that we were not having an oversight and knowing the weaknesses in CETA. We already said to them, get a deviation from CETA. I mean, the first week the commission was announced, I signed a letter of deviation to Minister of Finance, advised by the Director General, only to find that that letter was wrong, shouldn't have been. And that's why there's consequence management. And when a minister you get into portfolio, you don't arrive and say, I don't like you, I want you, I'm going to fire you. You give people an opportunity to do the work and hold them accountable. And when they fail to do that work, it's only when that you act. Because you can't assume that people are going to mess up.
Minister, can we both agree this must be embarrassing for the president? It must be. I have written a report to the president on Friday to explain what happened. We thought that we could save the situation. Bongani, where I'm sitting, we've committed to the commission. We've given them all the procurement that they need as we speak. Committed to Tuesday, it's been done. The ICT companies have been appointed. The team met with the
commission last night in terms of work that needs to be done. And we have agreed that the turnaround in terms of this, where I'm sitting, if the team and the commission can agree, which I can't interfere, but I'm hoping that the delay is not more than a week or 2 weeks.
Do we have a venue?
Because the venue has long been procured. The venue has been, everything else, Bongani, is done. We've appointed long time ago all the investigators, all the legal teams. They've been working, they've been interviewing the witnesses already. That work has been started. The staff of the commission have been done. The cars, the protection of the commission has been done. Everything else has been sorted.
All right.
Including the processes of us starting to, we would have finalized by Monday. The commission was not available to finalize the issue of witness protection. I'm hoping that we can meet tomorrow with the commission and finalize.
All right.
Everything else as I speak today is done.
Minister, thank you for your time and thank you for always being available to answer those questions. Appreciate your time. Mmamoloko Kubayi there is the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development.
10 years. Current events. Developing stories.
Tough questions.
Your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.